and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited because I finally have some clothing DIYs for you guys. I think maybe I have like one other videos of like clothing DIYs, like thrift flip stuff. I want to make a lot more of these, honestly. It just takes a really long time. So today I have one for you, and so we're doing 3 different DIYs for different tops. All of these could be made from old clothes. However, I ended up using a bunch of just fabric, just scrap fabric. So I haven't made anything from scratch in like a really long time, and so I kind of wanted to get back into it. So the first 2 actually are DIYs that I found on TikTok. So I will put credit and stuff in the bio, and I'll be talking about who they're from as well while the narration goes on. And then the last one is kind of just one that I kind of made up, but it's definitely like been done before. Yeah, so let's go ahead and just get started. Basically, I'm going to film this the same way that I did the last furniture flip, and I'm gonna narrate as I like watch here in this time. So hopefully this will work fine, and I hope that I am able to explain everything like I have it in my head. So nevertheless, let's just continue on. All right, so the first top we're doing is this like really super trendy corset top that I have seen a lot of people make different versions of, and there's definitely a lot of versions out there. This one is from the YouTuber and TikToker influencer, whatever you want to call her, Nava Rose. She has a free pattern online, so go to her Instagram and whatnot and print out this pattern. You can of course make your own, but I thought it was easiest to print hers out, so here I am. And then after I cut out the pattern, I'm just focused on the piece that I want to focus on first, which is this front piece. So then you just take your fabric or your old shirt or whatever you want to use, and you just cut out these pattern shapes. Duh. I do not know how to adjust a pattern, so I am so sorry. I am not the tutorial for that, so I know there's gotta be some good ones out there, but I have no idea how to adjust a pattern for a size, so I apologize. Now, since I'm making this symmetrical shape, I went ahead and just flipped over the part that I already cut out, and now I'm cutting out the same exact shape on this side so that I have one big symmetrical shape, if you will. Okay, here's one shape. Get that out of here. Now I'm gonna cut out, I'm kind of doing this like mishmash of fabrics, so I'm just kind of picking randomly through this. I'm gonna do the side pieces now, and then I decided to do 2 side pieces in the same cheetah print pattern, so I ended up just flipping this fabric over and cutting out 2 at the same time, because why would you not, you know? Save you some time. Also, partway through these tutorials, I finally got a rotary cutter, and oh my god, that is life-changing. So please get a rotary cutter if you do stuff like this, because it is seriously worth it. It's like $14 or something. I got it at Walmart, and then you get the board with it too, of course. But seriously, oh my god, it's so much easier than trying to hold a pattern and cut things out with scissors. Oh my god, like I'm just honestly mad at myself for not getting one years ago. But yeah, so anyway, here I am cutting out the side pieces. Okay, so once you have all of your pieces cut out, you're gonna cut out the exact same pieces in the lining fabric, and so then you have a whole bunch of pieces. Now you're just gonna sew all these pieces together. I don't know a whole lot of sewing terms, so I just do my best. So I just sewed them all together, so now you should have two big pieces like this that are kind of starting to look like a top. So yeah. Of course, you don't really need a lining fabric if you're just like making this for yourself or whatever, but I wanted to go all out and make this a higher quality piece, if you will. So now I'm ironing the seams down just so that they stay down and they're not in the way. Yeah, I think it just helped a little bit. I definitely pulled the iron out a little bit more, but I think this fabric was kind of tricky. So yeah, I think it made a big difference. Okay, so now you're gonna put the cute sides together, right? So that you have both sides with the seams out. And then basically what we're gonna do is attach these. So you're gonna sew everything except that whole bottom piece together. So I am just pinning the seams that I sewed on the lining fabric and the seams that I sewed on the pattern fabric. I'm just pinning the seams together so that it kind of holds a marker for me, if you will, while I'm sewing. Okay, so now I have one big piece that is sewn together. I'm cutting off any like really excess fabric that is outside of the seam lines, and then I'm just gonna turn this bad boy inside out, and then we're really getting somewhere, you know? All right, so obviously I ironed everything flat. Now I'm gonna do a top stitch around the whole like top border, if you will. And this basically just gives it a nice finish. This is totally an optional piece, but I went ahead and did it. Now I'm gonna put in the boning, which is the zip ties. And okay, bear with me. I struggled with this a bit for a while. I don't know why. I think probably because it was like past 1 in the morning, but so I started placing them on the back, as you see, and then I started marking them with a Sharpie, God forbid. All wrong, because obviously I need them to be on the inside, Anna. I need them on the inside of the shirt. So just, you know, ignore this. This ended up being an okay guide for me to follow, I guess, while I was sewing, but it was also totally unnecessary and a waste of my time. So anywho, let's flip to when I actually did things right and put them on the inside. Here we go. So basically I just put a little piece of tape on each of them and just taped them in place. And then I went ahead and I just sewed on both sides of each zip tie, just a straight line on both sides. And that kind of encased them. You could also like measure and sew, you know, a tube, if you will, and then shove the zip tie in. However, I knew that I would not be able to keep it totally straight, and then I wouldn't be able to get the zip tie in if anything went wonky. So I just sewed alongside. Just be careful that you don't sew into the plastic zip tie or you might break your needle. So there we go. After a long process there, I got that finally. And now I'm just gonna do the bottom hem. And so cut any zip ties that are a little bit too long. And then I pretty much just folded over the whole bottom hem and just sewed that over and then cut off the excess. Easy enough. Okay, now you're gonna need these little eyelet things. I watch a better tutorial if you don't know how to put an eyelet in, I will say that. But I went ahead and put in 4 on each side. And also I am very well aware that one of these is really wonky. Oops, but it's just for me, so it's fine. Anywho. Yeah, and then I went ahead and I just used this black cord and laced it up. I do think that this top would be really, really cute with like a yellow ribbon, like a thick ribbon. I think that would be super cute, but I didn't have that. So I went with this black cord instead for now. And yeah, it's super cute. You can lace it top to bottom or bottom to top. I went bottom to top. However, I probably kind of wish I did the other way. But anyway, so once I have it on, now I can attach the straps. And also, side note, I do need to move my straps down just like half an inch because they're a little bit too long. So if you see that in the try-on clip, apologies. But anywho, so yeah, now I just kind of measured where I want it when it's on my body and then put a pin in it, and then I just sewed them straps right on. All right, and here's the finished product. I love it. I think it's super, super cute. I definitely think I'm gonna wear it this summer. Maybe even to the Ren Fest, we will see. I love the fabric that I used, and I think it's super cute. It fits me great besides the strap thing, but I'm gonna fix it. Yeah, so I styled it first as I would maybe to the Ren Fest, definitely like a toned down version, but super, super cute. I'm in love with it. Yeah. And then I also styled it with it under or over a t-shirt as well, just so you could, you know, get the full range. Get the full range. right, so this next gal was another girl from TikTok, and I will put her name on the screen and in the description because I don't remember it, sorry. I don't think she had a pattern, I don't remember, but I went ahead and just made a pattern from an old like muscle tee that I had. And so basically you just trace that, and this is a kind of a dupe for an IMG top that I'll put on the screen right here. Yeah, and so I really liked the idea, and the way she did it like was kind of complicated, so I hope that this makes sense because I think maybe it just wasn't explained well enough for my mind to handle. So anywho, I hope this one is good. But so basically I cut out this muscle tank pattern, and then I just put these 3 notches right in the front, like you can see here. And now I have my rotary cutter, so life is really going up at this point, right? So I cut that out, and I'm just using scrap fabric. Well, not really scrap, I guess it's like new fabric, but fabric I have left over from stuff, and I thought this would be really cute, and I love this fabric, and I definitely, like, when I bought it, wanted to wear it somehow, some way. So yeah, basically just cut out 4 of these, and you'll see why in a second, but I have my fabric folded over so that I'm cutting out 2 as we speak, and then I'm gonna cut out another one after I just flip the pattern over, if that makes sense. All right, so now that I have 4 of these top pieces cut out, I'm going to cut the notches in all 4. I wanted to make sure that these lined up really good, so I decided to just do them last, but I mean, you can do them as you cut out the pattern too, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so then once I have that, you should have 2 and 2, so like 2 layers and 2 layers, right? So put them together, and now that kind of looks like the front of a shirt, right? So my fabric here, the bottom is attached. It doesn't need to be by any means. You can just sew it if it's not, but I had the seam there, so I figured might as well. So now you're gonna turn them inside out, and I'm pinning them so that I can hold it together, and then you're gonna just sew around the whole thing, around the whole edge, except leave a little spot so that you can turn it inside out. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so now that I sewed all around except for that one little hole, right, I'm turning it all inside out, so make sure you poke out all the seams nice and good, make sure there's no holes, and make sure that everything is laying nice and flat. Okay, so once the front pieces are in a good place, I'm gonna use that same pattern and cut out the back of the shirt. And this time I'm gonna be using a lining fabric. I could have definitely done that on the front of the shirt as well, but I just literally didn't even think of it. So I'm gonna be using the printed fabric that you see here as the back so that the whole shirt is printed. And then I'm just using like a scrap lining fabric that I had laying around, because might as well save the cool fabric, which I also, you know, could have done in the beginning, but it's fine. Yeah. So basically you're just gonna cut out 2 of these again. If you have a big enough fabric, then you can do what I did in that first tutorial where you just flip like the half that you cut out over and then cut out the other half so that you have one big piece, if that makes sense. My fabric was like in too small of sections that were left, so I had to just do 2 and then sew them together, but you can save yourself a step if you can just flip it over and cut out the symmetrical side. So like I said, I just sewed these 2 sides together right down the middle. Of course, you could have just cut out this one big piece if you had enough fabric, but I didn't. So yeah, just sewed it together, patched it up, you know. Now I'm gonna use that as a guide to cut out my lining fabric, and I'm just gonna cut out the exact same shape. And I'm just using this purple, like satiny fabric. This satin is a little bit different than other satins I've worked with. Most satins freaking suck. So, you know, choose your lining fabric carefully, but this is just some extra that I had, so it worked out well enough, I suppose. Okay, so now that I have my lining fabric cut out as well as my back fabric, I am just gonna pin these together and do exactly what I did at the front. I'm gonna sew all the way around and leave a hole. I think I just actually left the bottom piece open. And yeah, so I'm gonna sew around all of that. Cool, so this is it turned inside out with all the sides stitched, and I just left the bottom open. And so now we're gonna put the front pieces on to the back piece. So now you can see it's kind of looking like a shirt, right, okay. So basically you're just gonna sew these 2 corners together, or 2 corners, sorry, these 2 edges together, if you will. So the side that doesn't have the notches in the front piece, and then of course the other side, and then of course sew it so that the seam doesn't stick right out. That also helps. so now that we have both the sides on, well, I guess the front pieces really, now I'm going to sew up the bottom hem. It looks like I made the front pieces a little bit longer than the back piece. Not sure how that happened, but it did. But that's okay. That's what bottom hems are for, you know, to cover that. So basically I'm just folding this up so that it's even all the way around, and then I'm just gonna sew that whole bottom hem up and be right back. Bam! Okay, that bottom hem looks sickening. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna go into these little notchy boys, okay? And we're gonna make loops. So basically, I'm just folding it right over, and then making just enough room for a string, thread, ribbon, whatever you wanna put, to pass through. And so, yeah, I hope that makes sense. I'm just folding the front, or like the little parts that stick out of the notch parts, just folding those right over. And yeah, I'm gonna, oh, and then sorry, yeah, I'm gonna sew that. So, yep, so now I'm gonna go ahead and just sew each of the little notches, just so that they create a loop. And then bam, we got notchy or sorry, no, we don't have notchy boys. We have loop boys. So now we have loops. Yeah, so that's like basically almost the whole shirt, right? So you're gonna lace it up. This way you can try it on, and then we can do the straps. I'm a fan of doing the straps last. Some people like to do the straps in the middle. I like to do them last because I feel like that is like the weirdest thing to fit on my body. In a sense, and so yeah, I'm gonna lace it up first, and then we're gonna try it on, and then we're gonna connect the straps. All right, so basically all I did was try it on, see how big I want the straps, and now I'm just gonna really lazily attach the straps together. And I'm just gonna run my sewing machine right over the top, and bam, there they are, now they're straps. And now it's a whole shirt. Oh my God, you guys, we made a shirt. Holy crap. Yeah, this shirt is sick, honestly. I love it. Again, I think I might lace it from top to bottom instead, because in the try-on, as you can see, I just tucked that bow in because it was like kind of fugly. But honestly, guys, I think I kind of popped off with this one. So, okay, I'm GM. Sure, babes. Yeah, but I am in love. Yeah, I'm just gonna let you enjoy the montage now. a scarf top. But I want it to have straps and something that actually really ties, because I cannot trust a scarf, if I'm honest. I just can't trust a scarf in my life. I have nothing to hold the scarf up with. So I wanted to make it like an actual shirt, so like a little bit of a lining, okay? Top notch crap right here. Yeah, so anyway, I'm using the triangle of this scarf, so I know that that's like kind of the size and the shape that I want it to be. So this is basically my pattern for this one. So I'm gonna cut down, and then it's like a rhombus, right? Like a home base, kind of. I hope that's right. Yep, so I'm gonna cut that out. And then same thing, since it's symmetrical, cut half of it and then fold it over. You're gonna have a lot more of a symmetrical cut. And then I also am using this really soft black fabric as the lining. Like I said, I wanted to have a lining so that I could like actually wear it and like feel comfortable in it. Anytime I try to wear a skirt on the top, I feel awful. So yeah. So I'm cutting out this fabric obviously the same way. So next what you're gonna do, surprise, surprise, because we've done it with everyone now, you're gonna sew them together, and then you're gonna leave, I left the top open because I knew I would have to adjust the hem. So I sewed it all together and left the top open. Now I'm pulling it inside out, and you're just gonna flatten that seam, make it nice and good, make it nice and flat, make it, yeah, make it a rhombus. Let's see. So now I'm trying it on. It will cover my boobies, which is excellent, because that is normally what they kind of want, right, society? So now I'm cutting out the back straps, and so I'm using this fabric. I don't know what it's called. I wish I did. It's just this really, really stretchy, I think it's a cotton. So yeah, it's called really stretchy cotton. So I'm using this as the lining and as the back straps because I knew that this stuff would tie really nicely. If you tie it in like a big knot, like it would be firm, but also you could probably get it out. Right? So basically I'm using that flat side of the shirt, like the straight line, if you will, as a guide. And so I'm cutting my strap as big as that, and then I'm cutting it into a point. So it's kind of like a really long, skinny triangle. There it is, really long, skinny triangle. So I'm cutting out 2 of those. And then I'm gonna sew both of those to each side. And then I'm gonna tie it so that I can see, you know, how it fits, what needs to adjust, this and that, this and that. And then I'm going to measure out my top piece, my strap. I'm making it like a halter strap because obviously there's nothing to attach it to in the back. So yeah, I'm just kind of feeling it out. Beep, boop, boop, bop, bop, bop. And I'm gonna go ahead and sew that strap on as well as the top hem. So I'm just gonna, you know, 2 birds, 1 stone. Yep, just gonna do all that. So I didn't really measure how long the halter top strap part is. I just measured where I wanted them connected on the top. So I went ahead and connected them and closed off that top hem. And I can just cut the string into 2, and now I can just tie it when I wear it. So here's me trying it on. So here it was pretty good. You could probably leave it, right? However, it had kind of an interesting shape to it, and by interesting, I mean awful. So I went ahead and I added some darts in it, some bust darts, so that kind of gives you a little bit more shape, also holds you in a little bit better. So I tried the top on backwards, and then basically what you do is you just pinch that extra fabric and it just creates kind of like a dart, if you know what that is. It creates like a little like bust triangle, if you will. So that way the fabric hugs you a little bit more around the chest, and then you don't just have this like kind of shelf look to you. And then, so yeah, I just sewed in one of those on each side, and it made it literally so much better. So, okay, thanks. And here it is. It's so cute. Oh my god, I love it. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely wear this one a lot too. It's like literally actually like so cute. Okay. I paired it with these little hippie pants because I thought, what is more obnoxious than one big pattern? Two. What would be better? Three. But I didn't have that today. So yeah, here it is. Enjoy the little montage, and then I will say goodbye to you. People. Okay, well, I hope that that was fun. These turned out to be like kind of complicated DIYs, so I'm glad that last one is a little bit easier, but let me know what you think. I really enjoyed making some stuff from scratch. I definitely want to do some more upcycling stuff too with like thrift flips and whatnot, so let me know what you want to see next. But for now, that about does it. If you haven't seen last week's video, I go through my entire jewelry collection, so go see it if you want to see some jewelry. Also, go look at what I wore last week, and then on Monday you can also look at what I wore this week. Yeah, I have so many things for you guys. Enjoy. Also check me out on Instagram and TikTok if you want to see more stuff from me. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had a lot of fun. And if you make any of these tops, tag me. Also check out Nava Rose, and I'm sorry, the other TikTok girl that I will also put in the description and probably put on the screen at some point. Also check her out because they have great tutorials. Nava Rose also has a whole bunch of different patterns, so if you're into that kind of stuff, then go get them free patterns, girlie, because they'll change your life. So thanks again for watching. I will talk to you guys next week, and bye.